Hey, this is Bethany, and in an earlier video I mentioned I wanted to do a favorite brushes video. I'm just gonna do call it for this year, but really some of them are for all time. The first thing I want to start off by saying is I am a Sigma affiliate. There are some brushes that I love that are Sigma, but not all of them I love are Sigma. If you don't know what a Sigma affiliate is, it's basically you bought brushes from them and you recommend them so you can send or show people the link, and if they click through and buy from that link, then you make store credit back in a percentage or something. But I've never really put my link on my videos too much because I don't show my Sigma brushes off very much. I am going to include it down here in case some of you want to use it, but if you don't, no hard feelings. It doesn't really, no skin off my back, but whatever. You'll have to excuse that 80% of all my brushes are dirty right now because I'm always using them and it's such a pain in the butt to clean them and film it at once and catch up with it. But yeah, so most of them I'm going to show you are dirty. Please forgive me. The first brushes I'm going to recommend are Sigma brushes. These are actually, one of them is one of my favorite face brushes you could ever buy. I've seen so many videos of people recommending it and I was like, you know what, I finally got to try this brush. And actually the price on them wasn't too bad, and then I had a 10% off coupon, but I got them all in a set. This one, my favorite one, is the F52, and it's the round Kabuki. And I don't care what foundation you're using, whatever it is, if it's cream, if it's really thick consistency, if it's really thin liquid, this just works it in there amazingly. If it's like a mousse, this works really great for it. Any foundation you have can be improved by a brush like this. If the quality of your foundation is so-so, this kicks it up a notch. I think the brush was $14 or $16, but since I got all of mine in a set, I kind of got them for less than that per each brush. And then the flat top is kind of a close second on that, but if I'm gonna really pick my favorite, it would be the round top. So it's the round top F82 and then the flat Kabuki F80. So these are my two favorite foundation brushes from Sigma in general, but if I'm gonna recommend anything, it would be the round top. So this one I had to put in here because I was looking for a better alternative to my Kabuki brush, because the one downside of these really thick, awesome, high quality Sigma brushes is the fact that they are kind of a little bit more tedious to wash. When I do my deep clean, I find that I'm wringing this out a lot. It's so thick, there's so much density in here that it's a little bit harder to get everything out of there, and I just found it to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. This one is a close second, and honestly, if you don't feel like ordering online or if you have access to an Ulta nearby, I would just skip that and get this one. I do think in terms of improving your foundation, this one is just a little bit better, but this one's $9 at Ulta, and this is a Real Techniques brush by the Pixie Woo sisters or whatever, or Samantha Chapman, and this one is called the Expert Face Brush. Because it's dense enough, it works pretty well with creams too. It's not quite as dense as this bad boy here, but I just think this one is really fantastic, and for $9 you really can't beat it. I'm actually thinking about buying one or two more of these just because I won't have to clean as often. Now here's what makes this one better in a sense than the first one I showed you. This one only takes literally 2.5 minutes for me to clean. I don't feel like I'm wringing it out as much, so I might clean this brush every other day or every day sometimes just to make sure that my skin isn't breaking out, and it makes my life a whole lot easier, and it dries out super quick. And I'm not meaning that I sit it out and dry it out. I take a paper towel, I fold it in half, and I blot until there's no more water coming off, and that takes me about 40 seconds of my life, plus the 2 minutes washing this out with Dawn dish soap and water and a little bit of olive oil, and voila, you've got a clean brush. This one is just a great favorite. I really recommend it, and if you don't have this right now, you need to go get it because it's good. Okay, the next brush I'm gonna recommend is actually what I use for my powder for my face to make it not greasy. You know what I mean? Is this distracting? Anyways, this is the Sigma Duo Fibre F50, and you can see it's very big and fluffy, and it covers at least one cheekbone, so it's just so huge. But yeah, I like that it's big. I can span my whole face pretty quickly. and because it's duo fiber and it's not like insanely dense, it applies powder very thinly, like a very thin layer on my face. So it helps me avoid being cakey, which is something that I struggle with as an oily combination skin person who's always trying to cover my flaws. So this makes my life easier. I've had it for a year, and one thing I have noticed, okay, when you wash these duo fiber ones, they shed just a little bit if you deep clean them. But while I'm using them, I haven't noticed any issue with them shedding. All the other brushes before didn't really shed at all. But this one just sheds a few little hairs when you deep clean it, and I've had this a year, and I feel like the handle, just very slightly, I can hear it, you know, click in there. It's becoming a little looser. So no one else reports problems with these, and I still love this one, but I'm kind of a little bit bummed that the handle is becoming loose. It started like a week or two ago, and I was like, what? Why? But I treat you so good. But yeah, so I don't know. I recommend that one, but I'm sorry if yours does that. These two are my favorite blush brushes that I use, and I kind of go for two different things because this could be used as a highlighter as well. So yeah, but we'll just call these blush brushes. This one, it's duo fiber like the face brush before it. It's got a very just soft touch if you want to get in there and not go too crazy with your blush. I recommend to anyone who's afraid of having a heavy hand to get something like this. You don't have to necessarily get this one, but I particularly love this one. I love how long the handle is. It's held up really well, and I think it shed a few hairs after the first few deep cleans, but ever since then it's been doing real well. So, and I just love that I can, because it's got that duo fiber white hair, I can have more of an indicator of how dirty it is. And this is the small Duo Fibre F55, and I just love how petite it is. Now, if you don't want to use it for blush, you can use it for a highlighter too. This would actually be perfect for that. Or if you're someone who only needs to dust powder in specific areas, you know, like get rid of the oiliness just on your nose and your chin and the T-zone, this would be perfect for that. I just think this is all out a great brush, and probably everyone should own a petite duo fiber brush. Okay, so I had to look this up on the internet, but this is their big fluffy blush brush. And this, it looks like a bunny tail, like bopping on your face. I kind of apply it this way, or you can sweep this way, and it's a lot like this one in a sense that it's sort of duo fiber because it's got the dark hairs and the light ones, and it just has a bigger span, but it applies very gradually. And I really recommend this as a blush brush, and it is only $9. Like the Sigma brushes, they range between like $9, $14, $16, I don't know. Like they're not terribly bad. So I love the Sigma brushes, but I like being able to walk in the store and look and feel something and get it. So this one, I really recommend it, and I love it. So that's really all I gotta say. Oh, and it doesn't shed, but it looks like a bunny tail fluffing on your face. Yeah. My next three recommendations for brushes are gonna be these contour related brushes. You see, here's my favorite Sigma one, but I feel like it's a little bit more, I love the shape of it like a lot over these other two. And you can really get in here and sculpt underneath, or you can apply blush with it. I just feel like it's a little bit more prickly than this Real Techniques brush. I really like this one. It's got a perfect shape. I love using it. But for some reason, I find myself, just because it's thinner and easier to wash, reaching for this $1 e.l.f. brush all the time. Also because it's thinner, if I wanted to contour, I can make a lot thinner line with this first. So it's $1. One thing I have noticed though is this is an e.l.f. brush that was bought a year ago, and they're really decreasing the quality in their e.l.f. Essentials line. So I don't know if you could go out and get an e.l.f. brush. Look, our hair matches. I don't know if you could go out and get an e.l.f. brush and still end up with one that I like this one, because I've noticed that instead of this like kind of gradual dome shape, I've seen them cut straight across for the e.l.f. brushes. So I think they're really trying to cut corners and stuff. They know people are already telling other people this is great, I like it, go buy it. So I don't know if I would recommend these newer blush brushes or contour brushes from e.l.f. Oh, it's called the Professional Bronzing Blush. But I don't think they're staying so pro anymore. I do like a lot of e.l.f. Studio brushes, but I didn't really have many to recommend here because the issue is that most of them, the ferrules are breaking. This part is becoming loose, and I have to keep re-gluing them. I might do a video on like favorite e.l.f. blushes, but for now they really just don't rank in my very favorites of brushes because, you know, you don't like washing it and then its head falls off. You just feel like a brush murderer. So this is the Sigma Large Angled Contour F40, and I really like it. I'm just gonna say though, it's a little bit more prickly than I expected, but it still does the job quite lovely. It doesn't feel crabby, it doesn't feel like bad quality. Now this one is a Real Techniques brush, and I feel like it was their contour brush. I don't know. But you could use this for highlighting or getting into contour as well. So this one is just a multi-purpose brush, and I really recommend it. I've used it a lot of the time, and I just like how it's very soft, and I love the synthetic hairs that they use in all their brushes. Okay, now I'm gonna just talk about the most common brushes that I regularly use on my eye makeup most of the time. And one of them also is for concealer, because let me just start with the concealer brushes actually. So this is a Sigma, this is like the little buddy to the Kabuki round top, but it's the precision round, so it's more for concealer, and it's the P82. See how round that is? And I used green concealer on it. Well, I found kind of an equivalent in the Real Techniques brushes, and this is called the Deluxe Crease Brush. Now this is more for eyeshadow, but because it's so soft, you can actually use it as well right under your eye to blend in concealer. Another brush I really like that's round topped, and this I use more for eyeshadow, like putting it on the lid or inner tear duct, is this Soho brush. And I think that's a contour brush as well, like an eye contour crease brush or something like that. They have a couple different lines. They've got like these dark Soho brushes and then these pink ones. I really like these pink ones, and if they carried them in stores near me, I would pick up on them more. But yeah, so I really recommend this one if you're looking just for another good eye brush that has pretty good texture and it has like a dome shape. Okay, I thought I'd have a lot more brand variety here, but it turns out most of what I have here is like Real Techniques brushes and Sigma and some other stuff. This Real Techniques brush is called the Base Shadow Brush, and I don't think I use it for its intended purpose. I guess it's meant to lay down your base color, your lid color, or whatever. I actually, because I'll show it to you because I used it in a tutorial recently. See how one side is flat, it tapers up, and it's skinny on the other side. Well, I found that this brush is actually quite perfect for just deepening the outer crease a lot and just kind of gradually building up, you know. You can put a contour in with a fluffy brush like this, but then go in and deepen up with this guy, and it will still be a nice organized little look. 'Cause sometimes some brushes you go in and they just mess you up. But yeah, this one I love and really recommend, and I'm pretty sure it came in one of the sets with all the purple brushes and stuff. This may have came in that set as well. This is their shading brush, and I just recommend this one because it's a little bit shorter, so you have some more control. It still moves around a little bit, but good for the inner corner, good for highlighting the brow bone, and it's also excellent for using it on the lid. Or even though it seems a little bit thick, you can actually go under here and blend out your eyeshadow a little bit. So that one is really great as well. So yeah, these are all my favorite brushes. I hope that you guys found some good recommendations in there. I'm sorry if like I don't have a ton of variety, but there are just the same things I've been using a lot, and I found that they just work for me. Partially because when I'm, you know, oily or pale, I might want to build something gradually, or, you know, just have very subtle color at first just to see how things go. So I have my own way of doing things, and I think sometimes those ways can help other people as well too, because we all struggling together. Alright, so I am gonna go play Zelda, because that is what my life is about right now. And I will be saving Hyrule if you need me. So leave a comment if you like, because I am the hero of time. Goodbye.